I never thought my life could change in an instant. One moment, Rachel and I were planning our future, and the next, I walked into a nightmare. There she was, in our special hotel room, passionately kissing another man. My heart shattered as I watched them, every moment searing into my memory. She begged for forgiveness, but I knew I could never trust her again. I took photos, capturing her betrayal. She mocked my pain, thinking I would never leave. But I did. I walked away from the woman I loved, leaving her to drown in her own guilt. Our love was over. Thank goodness it's finally done. If someone had told me how annoying planning a big wedding would be, I would have said no to the whole thing right away. But like with many things, you find out the hard parts little by little, and often when it's too late to change anything. I was married before. I was very happy with my first wife, Julie. She chose to have a small wedding, and now I really appreciate that. It was a lovely private ceremony with just close friends and family. Very simple, very romantic. But my new fiancée, Rachel, wanted a big, grand wedding with everything you could think of. I mean, who cares if the color of the napkins matches the flowers? Not me, that's for sure. But for everyone else, this seemed super important. And by everyone else, I mean Rachel, her mom, and her best friend Amber. Rachel's father wisely stayed out of it, so I had to deal with all these choices with them. They would ask me little things like if the church should have roses or lilies, but I don't think they really expected me to know the answers. And to be honest, they were right, I didn't. I tried to tell them about my lovely, simple wedding with Julie, but no one listened. In fact, these comments seemed to make them angry, though I didn't know why. Yes, I had loved before, deeply, and I lost my dear wife in a horrible accident. But does that mean I can't ever talk about her? That she should be forgotten? No way. Rachel knew about Julie and my past from the start, and Julie would always be a part of me. After weeks of pretending to care about tiny details, I felt we deserved a break. Everything seemed to be set, even silly things like what kind of umbrella Rachel should have if it rained or what car would take us from the church to the party. I felt that one last thing needed to be done. I needed to reconnect with Rachel, who seemed distant lately. I thought it was due to all the stress from the wedding planning. Rachel had known from the start about my life with Julie and had helped me through my grief. She lifted me from my deep sadness and brought me back to life. She was even understanding when I accidentally called her Julie sometimes. Over the months, I fell deeply in love with Rachel, maybe as much as I had with Julie. Though Rachel was patient, she did remove a few of Julie's photos from my home when she moved in. She was also sensitive when I suggested she dress more like Julie, so I stopped mentioning it. We argued about keeping some of Julie's things and decorating the house, but we worked it out. Our love grew stronger each day, and I finally decided to propose to her. She said yes, but not right away. That surprised and disappointed me. She had chased me so hard that I assumed this was her dream too. But she looked at me blankly for what felt like hours, but it was just a few seconds. Yes, Alex, I do want to marry you, but what? Alex, you know, some things haven't been easy for me here. What do you mean, Julie? She looked hurt. Oh, sorry. Rachel. I meant Rachel. Alex, you're a great guy. You've been through a lot. I believe you when you say you love me, but I'm afraid you still love Julie too. Rachel, please believe me. I'm just used to Julie's name. I love you. Only you. She burst into tears and hugged me tightly. Yes, Alex, I'll marry you, but please don't hurt me too much, okay? I won't, Rachel, I promise. That wasn't my best moment, but I hoped my mistake wouldn't cause too much trouble between us. There seemed to be a shadow over us after that, but I thought it was also due to the stress of wedding planning. My plan was to take Rachel on a surprise trip to the north for a wellness weekend. Her mood had been getting worse during the wedding preparations, even though she was very involved in them. Anyway, the planning was over now. All we had to do was actually get married. I hoped our surprise weekend would help improve our relationship. I was determined not to mention Julie or any wedding details. Wow, Alex. She even kissed me, which hadn't happened much lately. A romantic wellness weekend? Oh, honey, that's so nice, thank you. She seemed so happy, and I realized I had been tense, scared she would say no to my plan. But my surprise was perfect, just what we needed to fix our strained relationship. Yeah, I've been there before. The hotel is very nice. We arrived early at the hotel, and despite the bad weather, everything seemed perfect. The hotel was very nice, the spa looked amazing, and our room was just what we needed. I thought this would be a good time to get close to each other again. We could fix our relationship. Wow, this room is great, Alex. Yeah, when the weather clears up, you can even see the lake. It's really romantic. Oh, nice. How do you know? I've stayed in this room before. Oh, you've been here before. Yeah, I have, I said. I didn't mention Julie this time. Oh. She looked a bit surprised. Did you ask for this specific room? Yeah, I like it. I see. She seemed upset, and I started to get annoyed. Why did my past with Julie still bother her? Rachel knew I loved her. Was it so wrong to use the same room where I had nice memories? The weather turned worse quickly, and soon it became a heavy snowstorm. Michael, a friendly guy from the reception, told us we would be stuck in the hotel for several days. I didn't mind. It seemed kind of romantic. I didn't plan to leave our room much, just for meals and the spa now and then. Outdoor activities were out of the question anyway. More romantic time for us, I said to Rachel. She didn't seem as excited. I just hope I'll get back to work on time, she replied sharply. This made me feel uneasy. Let's get something to eat, okay? They have a great restaurant. Okay. I requested a specific table, and we were lucky it was available. Don't tell me you've sat at this exact table with Julie? Yeah, it's got a nice view. Should I wear a wig? A wig? Yeah, and dress like Julie, maybe? Rachel, don't be ridiculous. Alex, this has to stop. You knew about my past all along. Yes, but I'm not supposed to live it with you. I want to make new memories, not replay what you did with her. I'm Rachel, not a stand-in for Julie. Rachel, I am who I am. Julie is a big part of my past. So I have to share you with her forever? Share me? I don't see it that way. Well, I do. I can't change that, I said, feeling upset. If you see it that way, then yes, you'll have to share me with my late wife. You knew how much I loved her. Fine. If I have to share you, you better watch this, she said loudly. I knew it was hard for her. Maybe I should have been more understanding. But I was upset too, and she left the table before I could say more. At lunchtime, the hotel served a buffet. Rachel went there, and after a while, I thought I should follow her and try to calm things down. She was far ahead in the line and chatting with a tall, handsome man. They laughed and touched each other's arms. They almost looked like a couple. I felt a bit jealous and my pulse quickened. Was this payback? I watched, surprised, as they got along well. They joked, put food on each other's plates, and giggled like kids. After filling their plates, they chose a small table for two. This made me uneasy. What was she thinking? I grabbed a chair from a nearby table and sat down with them. Hi, I'm Alex, Rachel's fiancé, I said, holding out my hand. The man didn't even look at me or shake my hand. I pulled it back, feeling hurt when Rachel giggled. That really stung. She was trying to hurt me. Rachel, what are you doing? I said, annoyed. People around started to notice. This was getting embarrassing, but it needed to be addressed. Rachel ignored me, continuing her conversation about small things. I stayed stubbornly at their table, feeling humiliated. They talked about their jobs, the hotel, and families. Rachel didn't mention me or our upcoming wedding. Rachel, you're such a wonderful woman. I'm glad we met here, and I can't believe you're here alone. Danny, you're very attractive, too. I'm glad we're snowed in. We'll have a great time. Rachel! I shouted. Everyone looked our way, but they still calmly ignored me. Not the best way to treat your soon-to-be husband, I thought, feeling angry. Then Rachel leaned over and kissed him. Everyone around gasped. That hurt, really hurt. I felt a sharp pain watching that. I'm not someone who likes to fight. I didn't know how to stop what was happening. I also didn't want to walk away and give up. She would definitely hear from me later, though. Rachel, if you want to stay with me, stop this silly game right now. Danny, how about you show me your room? It's a bit loud in here. Even Danny seemed surprised at her boldness. But he didn't argue at all. They got up and left, leaving me there in shock. I felt everyone's eyes on me as I made my way to our room, feeling deeply embarrassed. I couldn't force her to stay faithful. If she chose to leave, there was nothing I could do. I was too hurt to think about what this meant long-term. I sat in my room for a while, trying to read but couldn't focus. I was furious, sad, disappointed. and felt completely helpless. I also started to question our marriage. Finally, I had an idea. I asked Michael at the front desk if he could give me Danny's room number. Michael was understanding, but said he couldn't tell me, even if it was room 107. I put on warm clothes and went outside the hotel. Michael had told me that 107 was on the ground floor with visible windows. I found the room and saw them inside. They were sitting on the couch, very close to each other, but at least still dressed. I took a photo with my phone. It was getting dark outside and the lights in the room were on. After a while, they saw me standing there. Rachel first looked shocked, then relaxed and pointed at me. They both waved and smirked, then started kissing again, clearly for my benefit. I took another photo and left. It was too much to handle. I worried that their lack of respect might ruin our relationship beyond fixing. Back in my room, I waited and felt more and more nervous. I hated feeling so powerless. I wished I could be strong and indifferent, but I still loved her. Later that night, I went down to the restaurant and saw them together. They looked like a couple, laughing and kissing. I took more photos and decided to get room service to avoid more embarrassment. I expected her to come back to our room after dinner to talk things out, but she didn't. At around 10 p.m., I went to check their room again. The curtains were closed, but had enough gaps to see inside. The lights were dim, and I saw them kissing again. I tried to stay calm and act like it didn't bother me so I could take more photos without feeling sick or running away. My plan fell apart when I saw her start to take off her clothes for him. She did it slowly and sensually, something she had never done for me. She posed for him, turning around and bending forward as he instructed. He pointed to the floor, and she knelt in front of him and started to undress him. I took photos even though I was going crazy inside. Despite the cold, I captured everything they did together. When they were done and cuddling on the sofa, I finally left. Back in my room, I cried a bit, punched the bed in frustration, uploaded the photos to my cloud drive, and took a sleeping pill to finally get some rest. I woke up around 9 the next morning. Rachel was sitting in a chair watching me. Neither of us spoke. I wasn't angry anymore, just sad. Thoughts of what could have been filled my mind. This woman could have been my forever partner. We could have had children. It all vanished in just a few hours. She didn't look sorry at all. She seemed rather content. Either she didn't understand the consequences or she just didn't care. Maybe this was her plan all along. She could have ended things more kindly. "Feeling better now?" she asked. "No." "I'm going to spend the day with Danny. Actually, I'll be with him until we leave. I've already moved my stuff to his room. Then I'll be yours again, at least until you bring up Julie again," she explained calmly. "No," I replied in a flat tone. "It's already decided. Try to have a nice time here." And with that, she left. I couldn't believe how arrogant she had become. I wondered if she had changed, or if I had just never seen her for who she truly was. It seemed she didn't want to end our relationship, just teach me a lesson. But there was no way that was acceptable. Sure, I might have mentioned Julie too much, but her reaction was way over the top. We were done, I thought. But I still had to stay in the hotel. I wanted to run away from this mess, from my feelings of helplessness and shame, and most of all from Rachel. But I had no choice. I spent some time staring at the wall, my thoughts going in painful circles. No, this was getting me nowhere. Thinking wasn't helping, it was only hurting my mental health. I needed to distract myself until I could leave this awful situation behind. I thought, I should get something to eat. On my way to breakfast, my new friend Michael stopped me. "You shouldn't have to go through this. I've lived here for a long time. I know the weather. The roads will be open for a short time today. In about 1 or 2 hours, you can leave by following the supply truck. We won't tell the other guests for safety reasons, but you'll be fine with your 4x4. Around noon, the next storm will hit. Then the roads will be blocked for 3 or 4 more days. You shouldn't have to deal with that. I strongly advise you to go." He spoke with genuine concern. "Thank you, Michael." I meant it, and I tipped him well. It felt like he had just saved my life. Each moment here was making me feel worse. Just knowing I could leave made me feel better. I packed my things, checked out, and waited in my car for the supply truck to leave. It cleared the road a bit and could help me if I got stuck. But I reached the highway without any trouble. The drive home seemed to go on forever. My mind kept replaying what had happened, and my mood was as bad as the weather. One thing was certain. There would be no wedding. I would cancel everything. All those decisions about the wedding now seemed pointless. That made me feel a bit better. No one would ever know if the dessert was right for a winter wedding. I had stayed in our hometown mostly because of Rachel. I had better job offers elsewhere, including one really good one in San Francisco. It hurt to turn that one down, but Rachel wanted to stay near her family, and I agreed. Now I was free to see if the job was still on the table. I felt almost relieved. After what I went through, I felt a sense of freedom. New opportunities were ahead of me, a whole new life. For the first time, I thought I had really dodged a bullet. I wasn't married yet, and I could just leave without any consequences. But on the other hand, I hadn't proposed to her for no reason. I had loved her, really loved her. But her actions at the hotel made leaving her easier. Just thinking about recent events burned away any sadness that tried to come up. I knew the pain would come, but right then I needed to focus on my future. At home, I canceled all the wedding plans. The venue, the caterer, the DJ, everything. I sent out cards to all the guests. Due to unforeseen circumstances, we regret to inform you that our wedding is canceled. Neutral wording. I could have said worse things, but I didn't want to make it public. Then I called the San Francisco company and explained my situation honestly. Come over here, Alex. We'll find a place for you to stay, and you can have the job anyway. Actually, I'm glad your ex made that mistake. He even chuckled a bit. I had to agree inwardly. I couldn't laugh about it yet, but in some way I was glad too. If she had cheated 6 months later, it would have been worse. I was glad she showed her true self early. It still hurt, of course. Losing someone I loved hurt as much as the situation itself. I quit my job, packed my things in my car, and left our apartment. On a sudden impulse, I even messed up her underwear drawer, but it didn't make me feel any better. That was childish. But it was at least a token to show her how I felt. The drive to San Francisco would take 4 or 5 days, and I was looking forward to it. The loneliness, the silence, and the chance to think about my life. After 2 days of driving, feeling angry and hurt, my phone rang. This is Alex. Alex, honey, it's Rachel. We have mobile service again, thank God. Even the roads will be cleared soon. I didn't respond, too shocked. All the hurt came rushing back. Why did I even pick up the call? I had nothing to say to her. I should have checked the caller ID first. I couldn't believe how calm she seemed. Alex, are you still there? Yes. How are you? Not so well. Me neither. Alex, honey, did you cancel the wedding? My parents called me. Yes, I did. What did you expect? That I marry you? Seriously? Alex, please. I know you're hurt, but don't make this bigger than it is. This was just to show you how much it hurts to share your partner. I'm sorry it got out of hand, but I was so hurt and angry about all this Julie stuff. I'm really sorry. I wasn't thinking straight. It was a terrible mistake, but I'm yours and nothing needs to change. From now on, I'm a one-man woman. Maybe, but that man isn't going to be me. What? Alex, come on. I know you're hurt, but it was really nothing. This guy was never important. I was so mad at you and so hurt. Okay, what I did was totally wrong. Let me make it up to you, okay? I don't care how you explain this or how you see it. I just made up my own mind. And we're done. Shall I send some photos to your parents and ask them what they think? Alex, I hope I can leave here soon. We need to talk. Could you please pick me up? No. Why not? You're not my responsibility anymore, and I'm not even in the area. Alex, where are you? Don't make this so hard for me, please. Let's see. The sign says Kearney, Nebraska. You're kidding? No, I'm heading for California. I'm starting a new life without you. Alex! She started crying. Don't leave me, please. This meant nothing to us. I was just angry and things got out of control. I'm really sorry. Maybe it meant nothing to you. For me, it was a complete nightmare, the worst time of my life and the end of our relationship. Alex, please turn around. We can still fix this. No, I don't want to fix this. You've hurt me and embarrassed me for 2 days. This wasn't a momentary lapse. You had plenty of time to think about it, and you chose to hurt me and cheat on me, over and over again, publicly. You tried to shame me. I don't care about you anymore. None at all. Have a good life. I hung up. That hurtful person. The phone rang again immediately. I blocked her number. Finally, I could drive in peace. But my newfound calm didn't last. I hit the steering wheel now and then, not sure if I was angry or sad. The silence didn't last long. About an hour later, the phone rang again. Alex speaking. Alex, this is Carl, Rachel's father said. Hi, Carl. Alex, what's going on? You've canceled the wedding? Yes, well, Rachel actually canceled it with her behavior on our trip. Alex, it can't be that bad, can it? Let's see. She flirted heavily with another man at the restaurant. She ignored me when I tried to stop her from kissing him in front of everyone. She said she was going to his room, and did it. She spent the whole night with him. Then, she came to my room to tell me she would spend the whole weekend with him. The whole hotel knew about it. What do you think about that? I can hardly believe it. This must be some kind of misunderstanding. Do you want photos of that misunderstanding? I've got plenty. While they're kissing in the restaurant, in his room. They weren't discreet about it. They had fun rubbing it in my face. There was a brief silence. I'm sorry, Alex. You're right. She's obviously not ready for marriage. I apologize on behalf of my daughter. I hope we can stay in contact. Sure, Carl. I've always liked Sue and you. It would have been great to have you as my in-laws. Yes, it's a shame. What are you going to do now? I'm heading for San Francisco. I'm going to build a new life there. Good luck, Alex. You're a good man. Goodbye, Carl. That call hurt a bit again. My whole future had crumbled in a few days. Carl would probably have a serious talk with Rachel now. He was a no-nonsense man. During the rest of my trip, several friends called me. I gave them no details, but I think most had a rough idea about why Rachel and I split up. I promised to send them my new address once I had it. Finally, the calls stopped, and I could start my new life and leave the old stuff behind. Easier said than done. My thoughts kept returning to Rachel, to the good times we had, and to that awful weekend. After 2 months in San Francisco on a Friday evening, my doorbell rang. I slowly opened the door, expecting door-to-door sellers, but it was worse. Rachel was standing there, dressed nicely, looking beautiful but nervous. I quickly closed the door again. Of course, she rang again, but I turned off the doorbell. How did she find me? Where did I have to go? Bora Bora? I realized I couldn't avoid her if she really wanted to talk. Reluctantly, I opened the door. Better to get it over with right away. But she was gone. Good. I woke up at 9 in the morning. My doorbell again. I stumbled to the door, still sleepy, and opened it. Rachel again. Wordlessly, I stepped aside and let her enter. No need to delay the inevitable talk. At least this would end today. Still without a word, I went to the kitchen and made coffee while she watched in silence. I handed her a cup and took one for myself. We went to the living room, still silent, and sat down. We drank our coffee. She looked good. It was clear she had put effort into looking how I liked. But it didn't change my feelings. They were gone, and this realization made me calm. I could face her without any strong feelings. Alex, she croaked. She could speak, sort of. I'm sorry. I stayed silent. Not to make it harder for her, but nothing needed to be said right now. I behaved terribly. I just nodded. And I'm sorry it took so long to find you. You can mention Julie whenever you want. I'll just have to live with it. I felt so insecure. I thought you didn't really love me, that I was just a stand-in for Julie. You kept her pictures on the walls. You called me Julie sometimes. You had her picture in your wallet. You talked about her a lot while planning the wedding. Then you suggested this wellness hotel trip. I was thrilled, only to find out it was just a replay of your time with her. It was too much. I couldn't handle it. I just exploded. I'm so sorry. Rachel, I know I should have been more thoughtful when mentioning her. That wasn't nice, and I'm sorry. But that's no reason to publicly embarrass me and cheat on me blatantly. I know. Don't think I haven't punished myself for it over and over. We looked at each other in silence, unsure of what to say next. How did you find me anyway? I think all our friends have your address, but nobody wanted to give it to me. I had to borrow someone's phone without them knowing. I felt relieved. I had good friends. I've left our place and quit my job. I got an apartment just 1 block away and I'm looking for work. I was surprised, but it didn't change anything. It just meant I'd see her around more, which might make things tough. But I felt strong enough to handle it. Alex, I know I acted badly at that hotel. I hurt you on purpose and in front of everyone. I embarrassed you. I pushed you away and you had no choice but to leave. At first, I didn't understand why I did it. It's hard to explain because I loved you then and still do. Only you. I didn't love Danny. He looked good, but I didn't even like him much. I tried to explain to my parents and myself why I did it. At first, I said it was to show you what it felt like to share your partner with someone else, but things got out of hand. But that wasn't the whole truth. I knew from the start that I'd hurt you. So what was the real reason? My dad said I was probably just jealous. Jealous of a dead woman. You always talked about Julie like she was perfect. She was the most beautiful woman in the world to you. You never said anything bad about her. She was on a pedestal, and I felt I couldn't compete with that. I was so scared by her memory that I even hesitated to marry you, even though it was my dream. Rachel, I'm sorry. Of course, Julie had her flaws. Of course we argued. But after she died, I didn't think about those things. It felt wrong to her memory. I'm sorry if I made you think she was perfect. You could compete with her? I loved you as much as I loved her. Oh, Alex! She cried and moved towards me. Hold on. I said you could compete with her, but that was in the past. Now I see you in a different way. Alex, give me a chance to prove myself to you, to make things right somehow. Maybe I can just stay around until you trust me again. I'll be patient. You can even talk about Julie if you want. I'll live with it. I don't know. It isn't that easy. I'll spend my time trying to get you back, no matter how long it takes. Quite a speech, Rachel. I believe you. Thank you for talking to me again. She seemed unsure what my calm response meant. No problem. I'm surprised how calm I am today. Sorry about yesterday. I was caught off guard. Don't worry, Alex. How do you feel about me? I still love you, only you. I haven't been with anyone since that night, and I slept with him only once. I'm okay now. I think I'm mostly over you. You're not mad anymore? No, but I also don't love you anymore. She winced but recovered quickly. That's bad, but it won't stop me. It could be worse. You fell in love with me once. You might do it again. And I will be nicer to you this time. Much nicer. Rachel, I might be calm about you now, but I don't know how I could ever trust you again. Sure, I made mistakes, but your reaction was way too much. I'd always be waiting for something bad to happen. What if I forget to take out the trash? Would you hire someone to hurt me? Would you do something extreme? Trusting you again is not even a goal right now. You can trust me. I won't ever do something so stupid again. And if we get back together, we'll have a contract. If you leave me for any reason, I get nothing. No money, no access to our kids. The same if I leave you. You will get everything, but that won't happen. Kids? I laughed. Yes. If we get back together, I want some. Here's the contract. Surprised she had it ready, I read it and saw it was very strict. She would get nothing if we split up, not even custody or visiting rights for kids. I thought it wasn't even legal. Did Carl write this? Yes, it's that obvious. He really gave you a hard time. Yes, and so did Mom, and most of our friends. They all seem to know what happened, though I don't know how. Not from me. I only told Carl. I know. Keep the contract, it's already signed. You don't need to sign it, just put it in a safe. Okay, to honor Carl's work. But I wouldn't want to be with you because of a contract. And the main problem remains. I don't love you anymore. I don't trust you anymore. I'm not even sure I like you anymore. She looked shocked. Not even like me? Well, I understand. I hurt you badly. Alex, how about this? You show me San Francisco. I'm new here. This way you can see if I've changed just by spending some time with me. Let's just be friends. There it was. Did I want to avoid her? Would it look like running away from her? That would be weak. No, I decided I could be friendly. I had to admit that no matter what I'd said, I still liked her. And I didn't want to feel like a coward running away from her. I had no friends in this city, so having some company was nice. It showed me I could spend time with her without falling in love again. I'm not very familiar with San Francisco, but I can show you the places I know, I said. Thanks, Alex. But first, I'll make breakfast, she replied. She went into the kitchen humming a tune. She seemed very sure of herself, I thought. It didn't bother me anymore, but I didn't see us getting back together. It just wasn't appealing. In the weeks that followed, she always found reasons to be with me. It was almost funny. She often wore revealing clothes and tried to touch me when she thought she could. One day in my kitchen, she wore a very loose t-shirt and kept bending forward. I could have seen more than I wanted to, but I didn't even care to look. Instead, I looked everywhere else. She kept trying to get my attention by moving around. Finally, to stop myself from laughing, I left the room with an excuse. A few days later, she tried something else. She wore very short shorts and high heels. I was glad she didn't wear that in public. She spent most of the day bending over, pretending to look for something on the ground. "Are you looking for something, Rachel? Can I help?" I asked. "What?" "Oh, no, I'm fine. I just thought I might have lost my earring," she said. "I see," I replied, trying not to laugh. The next day, we went shopping. She was always close to me, her body touching mine. I pretended not to notice. This was fun for me, but probably very frustrating for her. She was trying hard to win me over, but I didn't respond to her charms. I felt a bit sorry for her, but I wasn't going to sleep with her just to make her feel better. Our relationship was over. Wearing revealing clothes couldn't change that. She wasn't happy about it, but she didn't complain. We had a fragile new friendship. A few weeks later, we were sitting in my living room. Rachel had stopped trying so hard by then. "Alex, when are you going to sleep with me again?" she asked suddenly. "What?" I was surprised she asked so directly. She should have known my reasons for not wanting to. "You can have me just for now, no commitment. Just sex, no love. I'm clean, available, and on the pill," she said. "Rachel, I don't know," I replied. She got up and knelt in front of me. "Please, I'll beg if I have to." I didn't know how to let her down gently. She was beautiful, but she was still Rachel, who had once ended things between us coldly. While I was thinking, she took off her sweater. She had a t-shirt under it with big letters saying, "Alex Girl." She turned around, showing me the same text on the back. Then she took off her jeans, revealing the same message on her panties. "Wow," I said. "Nice, isn't it?" she asked. "Yes." My brain was struggling to respond. "I bought 20 of each. I'll wear them all the time. The t-shirt will be for everyone to see, not the panties," she explained. "Well, technically," I started. "I know. It's not true yet, but it's my goal," she said. "Rachel, things are more complicated than that," I said. "I know, but I want to show my commitment and keep others away. But I need your okay to wear this in public." "If I let you do that, it means taking you back," I said. "Yes," she replied, her eyes lighting up. "I'm sorry, Rachel, it's not possible. Let's just be friends, okay?" I told her. Her face fell, but she tried to stay strong. "Okay, Alex, I'll do whatever you need. Sorry for bringing it up. I didn't mean to pressure you. I'm surprised I can spend time with you again, but that's all I can offer," I said. "I see," she replied, looking heartbroken. "Alex, I have time. I have no other plans. I will keep trying to win you back." I just sighed. I couldn't think of what to say. I didn't want to hurt Rachel, didn't want revenge, and didn't want to keep her from moving on, but I didn't know how to stop her from hoping for more. This is how we lived for several months. Rachel wanted more but didn't push me. She had high hopes, but I wanted to avoid a real relationship with her. I even told her that, but it didn't stop her from trying. Then something unexpected happened. One night, I came home late and found that the light wasn't working again. I tried to find my way through the darkness when my foot hit something soft. Cursing myself for not thinking of it earlier, I used my phone as a flashlight. There was a small woman curled up on the cold floor. "Sorry, I didn't mean to kick you." It wasn't the smartest thing to say, but it was all I could think of. No response. "Hello? Hello?" Still no response. What should I do now? I couldn't leave her there. So I picked her up along with her small backpack and took her into my apartment. She was very light. She was dirty, and under her messy blonde hair I saw a pretty face. She seemed healthy but was fast asleep. So I put her in the guest bedroom, covered her with blankets, and went to bed myself. Looking back, it might have been a strange thing to do, but I was really tired and thought it was the best idea at the time. I woke up confused because it was still dark. Normally I sleep until my alarm wakes me up. But this time, it wasn't the alarm. It was something else. To be honest, it felt like someone was using their mouth on me. It felt really good. I had been having a nice dream just before, so I didn't think too much about it. Before I could react, the feeling changed as if something else was happening. I should have said, "Stop, I don't know you." But all I said was, oh. I was half asleep and didn't protest, even though I should have. It was dangerous to do this with a stranger. But I didn't say anything as the woman made happy sounds and then went back to the guest bedroom in the dark. I briefly wondered if she was even human. Before I could think more about it, I was asleep again. Maybe it was just a weird dream. The next morning I heard her singing in the shower. She came out while I was making breakfast. She was very thin but had a pretty face and a nice smile. The situation was tense for me, but she seemed relaxed. She ate a lot, humming all the while. We didn't talk much, especially not about the night before. Then she just got up, went to the guest bedroom to dress, and walked to the front door. My brain was slow to catch up to what was happening. "Thank you, you're a really nice guy," she said, and then left. What just happened? Had I become slow, or was everything just moving too fast? I realized I had been with a woman without knowing her name. This wasn't like me at all. Was I becoming careless? No, I told myself I was just taken advantage of while I was tired. I checked the guest bedroom and it was neat, but when I emptied the trash, I found a needle. I felt a chill. Oh no, I thought. I've been with someone who uses drugs without protection. What have I done? A quick visit to the doctor showed no immediate signs of any disease. Some tests would take longer. I promised myself to think before doing anything like this again. Of course, Rachel continued to hope things would work out between us, but I still didn't want to be more than friends. I couldn't see myself trusting her again like I had before. She tried to keep her hopes for marriage, kids, and a house low-key, but we both enjoyed the time we spent together. I still found her attractive, but the strong love I once felt was just a memory. Months later, we were about to have dinner at my place when the doorbell rang. "I'll get it," Rachel said and jumped up. She always wanted to answer the door and phone. It was her way of showing she was still part of my life. I saw things differently but didn't feel the need to argue. I knew I had used her, keeping her close, enjoying her friendship. She hoped for more, but I never told her clearly that it wouldn't happen. She probably guessed and felt hurt, but she never gave up. It was strange. She was beautiful and could find a better guy, but she kept trying to win me back. I snapped out of my thoughts and saw a familiar face at my door. She looked thin, but her belly was big. Rachel looked surprised. I never mentioned this woman to her, but she seemed to understand what her visit meant. "Please come in," Rachel said calmly. "Join us for dinner. I'm Rachel." "Annie," she replied. Annie sat at the table and started eating with gusto. "I'm pregnant," she said between bites. We had a feeling that was the case. Then she added, "It's yours." She pointed her fork at me, a piece of steak still on it. I stared at it, trying not to think about what was coming next. "You're the only one I had sex without protection with." She went back to eating like we were talking about the weather. It felt unreal. "Really? The only one?" That's hard to believe. I felt defensive and hated myself for it. "It's true, but don't worry, I want to find a good solution. I like you and don't want trouble, and I don't even know your name." She laughed, looking quite cute. I'm Alex." "I'm Anna. It was good sleeping with you." We all laughed, even Rachel. Annie was cute in her own way. "Alex, you had unprotected sex with her without knowing her name?" Rachel said lightly, still calm. "Yes, it seems so." Maybe I should feel ashamed, but I didn't. "What now? Do you want an abortion?" "No, it's too late. I might have done it when it was just cells. But Alex, I've seen her. I've seen the ultrasound pictures. She's a person now. I can't kill my child. She's my daughter." I nodded. I understood that. Rachel seemed unexpectedly happy about the situation. "No problem, we'll adopt it." "What?" I was shocked and dropped my fork. Everything was changing too fast for me to handle. "Shut up, Alex. This is a woman thing. It should have been my baby anyway if I hadn't messed up." "Hey," I said. "I think I should have a say too." But I was mostly ignored. Rachel had decided to handle this. To be honest, I was secretly thankful because I didn't know what to do. "You're a drug user, right?" "How did she know that?" "Yes." "And a prostitute?" "Yes, but only with protection. I'm healthy, so I know who the father is. I still don't know why I had unprotected sex with Alex. I think I was overwhelmed by how he helped me. No one had ever done that for me, and I was thankful and still a bit high. Always with protection. That's why I'm still alive, I thought, kicking myself for being careless. "Okay, then you can't raise a child." I don't know. But you can't take drugs while pregnant. It might harm the baby. Yeah, you're right. But I've been on hard drugs for a long time. You can't just stop. I've tried many times. I want to stop, but I may not be able to, even for my baby. I'm scared. I might not be strong enough. My life is messed up. The mood was sad now. Annie was near tears. Rachel looked worried, and I felt overwhelmed. So is mine. But keeping you away from drugs will be Alex's job. He's the father, after all. You will live here. He'll make sure you stay clean during the pregnancy. I will adopt the baby after, and then you can go and live your life. I was impressed by Rachel's offer to adopt the child, but I wasn't thrilled about being pulled into a relationship with her this way. Anna thought quietly, then spoke up. You might be right about the drugs. I would never forgive myself if I hurt my baby. I've hurt myself enough. She doesn't need to suffer. Okay, we have a deal? Rachel offered her hand. Yeah, Anna accepted. It felt like my fate was sealed. Being a man, I got up and cleared the dishes. The women talked about their plan and my life. I was glad I didn't have to make any decisions right now. Anna was set to sleep in the guest room. Rachel spent as much time as she could at my place during the day. I wasn't sure how to handle Rachel's assumption that we'd get back together, but for now, I kept quiet. I had messed things up with Annie, and I was just grateful that Rachel helped me out of it. The next morning, we all helped move Anna's stuff from her place to mine. Her place was really run down. I wouldn't have even parked my car there. Wow, your life was really awful, wasn't it? I asked her. Was? It sounds like it's going to change. Yes, it was awful, and it might get even worse. Hey, I'm not that bad. You ever heard of going cold turkey? You're not talking about food, are you? Funny. She was very serious. No, look it up, okay? And get your guest room ready because I'm going to feel really bad soon. Expect a lot of puke, so yeah, my life was awful and it's going to be horrible. I just hope my daughter will appreciate it one day. Our daughter. What? Really? This tough girl suddenly looked like she was about to cry. Our daughter. You're not alone in this. We did this together. Oh, Alex, thank you. She jumped into my arms and hugged me tightly. Rachel watched us warily. Do you have any vacation time left? I can take unpaid leave. How long? 2 weeks, I think. The first 3 days will be the worst. What can I expect? Only good things. You'll really see my ladylike side. I'll have the runs, throw up a lot, sweat a lot, shake like a leaf, yell at you, try to scratch your eyes out, and try to escape. Most of all, I will hate you. Great. And that's exactly what happened. Twice she almost got away while I was cleaning up after her. I had lots of scratches and bruises. The room would need a complete makeover. She yelled at me a lot, and I was glad nobody called the cops. But we made it through the first 3 days. I got to know all her bodily functions. None of it was fun. So there I was, sitting on the floor by her bed, exhausted. I looked at the shivering, miserable little bundle in the bed and wondered what I had gotten myself into. While I tried to clean her hair with a rag, I realized this wasn't some noble act that people would remember fondly. I didn't feel like a hero. I was just a tired, dirty guy helping a shivering, sweaty woman I had gotten pregnant without thinking. At least I hardly noticed the smell of puke, sweat, and other stuff anymore. This whole thing was embarrassing, disgusting, and mostly just depressing. And I was very tired. Her sleep cycle was all over the place, so mine was too. A few hours later, she was on her feet again, pacing the apartment like a caged animal. Okay, I'm through the worst now. I need some time alone now that I'm clean. I'm going to take a short walk. See you. I was still standing at the door. Alex, I'm okay now, seriously. I just need to be on my own for a while. No way, Anna. 2 weeks, then you can leave here. Alex, let me go! She suddenly screamed. No, Anna. Alex, please, I need it. Just something to soothe the pain. She started begging. Anna, come on, let's get you something to eat, okay? Okay. Her suddenly calm tone fooled me. She tried to run for the door a few seconds later, but couldn't open it. It wasn't even locked, but she was trying the wrong way. I remembered to keep it locked after that. Even in her mixed-up state, it seemed safer this way. A few days later, she looked a lot better. Her eyes were clear again, and she had regained some self-control. She wasn't sweating and trembling as much. Although she was still too thin, she looked quite pretty again, now that her hair wasn't all matted and her skin wasn't glistening anymore. The strange thing was that she had become really clingy and emotionally unstable, which was exhausting. I didn't know if it was the pregnancy or the withdrawal, but she suddenly wanted to touch, hug, and kiss me all the time, except when she wasn't crying in a corner or having a laughing fit. I couldn't help but join her emotional roller coaster. When she was sad, it made me sad. When she was silly, I often joined in. When she was clingy, I enjoyed being close to her. Suddenly, we were in bed together, being close again. It was surprisingly full of need and passion. I hadn't realized how much I wanted her until now, but I really did need her, and I was sure she felt the same. Helping her through the withdrawal had brought us closer somehow. I was still aware that I was being with a woman who had a hard life, despite my vows to never to go down this path again. But at least she couldn't get any more pregnant. And surprisingly, it never felt like being with a stranger. She was quite shy, actually. She even cried a little afterward and stuck to me like glue. I didn't mind at all. We were sitting on the bed afterward, and I was feeling content and still a bit surprised. "Well, it seems you don't hate me that much anymore, right?" "Don't be too sure, mister. That was still my bad side. Wait until you see me when I'm nice." "No, seriously, I think I'm really over my demons now and starting to think clearly again. No, I don't hate you that much anymore. Never really did, actually. You've just tried to help me and our child, and I'm thankful for that." She smiled shyly. She was very charming and seemed to get prettier all the time. If this kept up, I might have to fight off other guys. Wait, what? Why would I need to protect her? Did I see her as my girl? I decided to put off thinking about it. The next few weeks were peaceful at the Spencer household. Annie and I got very close. Getting yelled at and cleaned up after her messes seemed to bring us together. It helped that I was no longer just her caretaker. We laughed a lot and spent a lot of time together. I even caught her looking at me with affection. To be honest, I was starting to look at her the same way. Rachel still visited often and noticed these changes. "Alex, are you and Annie becoming romantically involved?" "I'm not sure, Rachel. We are getting closer." She looked upset. "Alex, don't do this to me. I feel like I'm close to getting you back. Please don't let me lose you to her." "Rachel, you know that." "Yes, I know I can't stop you, but I still hope we can be together again. I won't give up, even if it takes years." I sighed and dropped the subject as Annie walked in. I knew it was hard for Rachel, but I now saw Annie as my girl. Annie and I grew even closer. I made sure she stayed away from drugs. We went to all her checkups, bought baby stuff, and did all the things parents do to get ready for a baby. We acted like a normal couple, and to me, we were. After our daughter Mel was born, things became even clearer. Annie, Mel, and I were a family. The idea of giving Mel up for adoption seemed silly. Of course, we were going to keep her. Rachel noticed all these changes when she visited. "Alex, I've lost you, haven't I?" "Yes, Rachel. What we had is over." "Alex, please," she started to cry. "This isn't fair. I know I messed up, but I've tried to make things right. Doesn't that count for something?" "I don't know if it's fair. You had me, but you pushed me away. So we were free to find someone else, and that's what happened. It's not about fairness. It's just how things turned out. This led me to Annie." "Alex." She was crying hard now. I hugged her. "Rachel, you're still young and beautiful. Find the right man and don't make the same mistakes again, okay?" "No." "Alex." "I'll wait for you." "No, don't. You can't stop me." I sighed. She was right. If she wanted to waste her time, I couldn't do anything about it. And that's how it ended with Rachel. It was sad because I had loved her once and things could have been great. But I didn't love her anymore. I was falling for Annie. No, to be honest, I was already fully in love with her. She was clumsy, innocent, and very charming. She adored me and I trusted her completely, which was odd. I trusted the ex-addict more than my ex-wife, who had only messed up once. The following years brought a small civil wedding, raising Mel, and no more Rachel or drug problems. Life wasn't always easy with Annie. She had mood swings, but by then I knew her well and handled it. Being deeply in love helped a lot. Mel was fantastic. She had me wrapped around her little finger. Everything changed shortly after Mel's second birthday. I had just put Mel to bed and was ready to relax on the sofa. Just as I sat down, the doorbell rang. Reluctantly, I got up. Opening the door, I found 2 police officers standing there. "Good evening. How can I help you?" "Good evening, Mr. Spencer. I'm Sergeant Jacobs. Are you married to Anna Spencer?" "Yes, what's wrong?" I started to worry. "Mr. Spencer, I'm sorry to tell you that we found your wife dead." Could you please come with us? The rest of his words were a blur. I fell to the floor. I had kissed her goodbye only 2 hours ago. Was that the last time we saw her alive? She would never come back? I would never hear her laugh again, never kiss her again, never hear her curse when she stubbed her toe, never have her cling to me again, never smell her again? Annie, where are you? What happened? A police officer shook me after some time. Mr. Spencer, are you all right? Should we call an ambulance? What? No, it's okay. Turns out she died from a massive heroin overdose. I had no clue she was still using. One of the police officers told me he knew her. In a rough way, he said she had worked as a part-time prostitute. He said she was an experienced drug user, too experienced to make such a big mistake with her dose. He pointed out that the amount could have killed an elephant. They were sure she had taken her own life. I was shocked. I never had any idea. I realized I hardly knew this woman at all. She had lived a double life. For several days, I was completely broken. I couldn't work and could barely take care of my daughter, Mel. A week after her death, I was sitting on my sofa again. I stared at the TV, crying from time to time, feeling sad and unable to handle the situation. Mel was crying too, which was normal now. Losing Annie hadn't just destroyed me, it brought practical problems. My vacation time was ending soon, and I needed to go back to work. How would I take care of Mel? I had no parents to help, no relatives nearby. Maybe I could hire a nanny. But could I trust someone? People I trusted had let me down before. Annie had deceived me after all. She loved me, but she lived a secret life as a prostitute and drug user while I was at work or on trips. She left me and our daughter without a word. Ding dong. Maybe turning my sadness into anger would help. No, that's too easy. She probably had her reasons. Maybe she was too weak to fight her addiction. Ding dong. Maybe she was blackmailed or she lost hope. She must have been desperate to leave her daughter behind. No, I couldn't be angry at her. She was a good person who was too weak for this world. Ding dong. I realized the doorbell had been ringing for a while. Damn. I should do something about it, right? Ding dong. Mel was crying too. What could I do? I had tried to feed her and failed to rock her to sleep. I felt overwhelmed by my new situation. Ding dong. What now? The door or Mel? I had no idea how to help Mel anyway. Opening the door gave me a clear action. Walk to it, open it, see who's there. I could do that. So I did it, and I immediately regretted it. No further complications, please. Life was hard enough already. Not Rachel, please. No, was all I managed to say. Boy, you look terrible. I'm so sorry, Alex. This must have been awful. She just hugged me. Strangely, I felt nothing. 2 years is a long time, yes, but this was the woman I almost married who had hurt me deeply. Wasn't I supposed to feel something? I felt bad for not caring, but maybe I was just drained. She didn't seem to notice or mind. She finally let go and carried the large bags she had brought with her into Mel's room. Hey. I closed the door and followed her, too tired to stop her. She took Mel out of her bed, rocked her for a while, and sang softly. Wow, I was impressed. Mel was calming down. After a while, she seemed content, which amazed me. Rachel gently put her back in her bed and covered her up. Then she walked into the kitchen, acting like she owned the place, and started unloading her bags. She prepared some food for Mel. How do you... I've read all about it. What? When? When I heard about Anna's death. I knew you'd be in trouble, Alex. She was being casual while handling the task, but she gave quick glances my way, showing she wasn't as calm as she seemed. You still live around here? Yes, I never moved away. And to answer your questions, no, I'm not dating anyone. Yes, I've been watching you. No, I haven't been with a man since that weekend when I ruined my life. Now she turned to face me. Yes, I still love you. Tears filled her eyes as she quickly left the room. I followed her to Mel's room and watched her as she gently rocked and fed her. Why didn't Mel cry anymore? When I tried, the whole neighborhood heard it. What's your plan? Alex, I will take care of you. I will always be there for you. I stayed in the background to not disturb your marriage, but now you need help, and I have to step up. Wow, what a statement. This woman had decided to devote herself to me, which was humbling. Was it love? Or did she feel really guilty? Could anyone act like this out of guilt without love, waiting 2 years and then stepping in to help? These 2 years must have been pure hell for her, watching me with another woman. Take care? What do you mean? I quit my job. You what? How else could I take care of you and Mel? You need a full-time nanny. And so does Mel. Rachel smiled, and I surprised myself by laughing. For the first time in ages, it seemed. You might be right. Have you eaten anything? Oh, since when? Since her death? Oh, I don't remember. I probably have. Okay, Mel is full. I'll take care of you now. You what? You just sit on your sofa, okay? Okay. And that's what I did. I realized I was really thankful. Just having someone to talk to and keep the loneliness and helplessness away was a great relief. I heard her clanking some pots and pans as she made something to eat. After a while, she returned. Are you feeling better? Yeah, less alone. And you're right, I need some help. Thank you. But what about your job? Alex, I haven't really had a life for 2 years now. I didn't go out much. I hardly spent any money, just lived in my small apartment. The only thing I spent money on was the gym. You? At a gym? Yes, I wanted to look. Well, I'll explain that later. I see. You do look good. Thanks. Anyway, I saved a lot of money for a situation like this. So right now, I can survive for almost a year without working. By then, we will know what to do. Oh. That was all I could say. I felt like I was just drifting and didn't know what to do or say. Yes, oh, so I'll take care of you. In a year, you will know what to do with your life. Maybe you will find a new partner, or consider other options. She smiled a bit. Oh, I have to check on our dinner. Dinner was delicious, and I thanked her a lot. Afterward, I felt like jumping into bed and sleeping for at least a week. Oh no, mister, you can't go to bed without a shower. And don't forget to brush your teeth, okay? Yes, Mom. She playfully punched me in the ribs, but I knew she was right. I hadn't cared much about hygiene lately. When I came out of the shower, I found my bed freshly made. Anna had been the last one to make it, I sadly realized. I snuggled under the blankets while Rachel gave me a kind smile. I thought about Anna. Was our love real? Could you love someone if you only knew part of them? Maybe I only loved parts of her. She clearly didn't trust or love me enough to open up completely. I woke up and was surprised to find breakfast ready on my nightstand. I was even more surprised that I had slept all night, something I hadn't done since Annie's death. How had Rachel managed to keep Mel quiet for so long? I realized she was not only determined to make my life better, but also very capable. I decided to eat the breakfast she made, and it felt good to eat something decent again. After a while, Rachel entered the room, humming happily and holding a sleeping Mel in her arms. She made it look so easy. Could a child really replace a mother so quickly? One thing was clear. I couldn't replace Annie like this. I hadn't dealt with her death or her secret life, and it still hurt a lot. I was thankful Rachel wanted to help, but I didn't feel a special connection to her yet. Feeling better? Physically, yes, thanks to you. Emotionally, I'm still overwhelmed. I don't understand how this could happen. You're talking about Anna's death? Mel was still content and not disturbed by our talk, which was another mystery to me. About everything in my life, to be honest. Our weekend trip, your betrayal, Anna suddenly entering my life, becoming a father, Anna's death, you moving in here. I feel like I'm drifting, stumbling through life without any control. Alex, if you want me to move out, I will. I'd be very disappointed, but I don't want to impose. No, don't get me wrong. You're helping me a lot. Please stay. She just smiled, nodded, and left the room. It looked like a tear might be escaping her eye. I returned to work a few days later, feeling confident that Rachel had everything under control. She seemed to enjoy managing the household and did it perfectly. She took care of everything, including my emotional ups and downs. She never tried to get too close, but she hugged me a lot when I felt low. She was kind, caring, and thoughtful. She was the best friend I had in the time I needed one the most. In short, she was great. Alex, I need to visit my parents for the weekend. They need my help. It's been almost 2 months since Annie's death. Do you think you can handle being alone for a few days? Could I? Yes, probably. I felt stronger and more stable. But did I want to? No, I suddenly realized. Her leaving for a few days felt wrong for some reason. Not because of practical matters, but because I wanted her around. No, because I needed her around. This realization caught me off guard. She watched me with a puzzled look on her face. Then, suddenly, a big smile appeared. "Yes! Yes! Yes!" she shouted, punching the air with her small fist. "Woo-hoo!" She jumped into my arms and clung to my neck. I was still confused, but I realized I had made a decision. There was no point in denying it any longer. I still loved her in some way. The feeling had just been buried under all the hurt and stress. She felt confident enough to give me the first real kiss in years, and it felt just right. Had she always been my person? Had Annie just been a substitute? Or was Rachel the substitute now? Did it matter if it felt right? Probably not. She finally let go of my neck and started to pull me towards the bedroom, cheering with joy. I realized I was grinning widely, too. Suddenly, everything seemed right in the world. The next moments were a bit awkward, but it didn't matter. We were both just happy to be close again and held each other for a long time afterward, her tears wetting my chest. "Just don't hurt me again, okay?" "Never, Alex. Never again. We have both suffered from my mistakes." But it wasn't all bad. We have a lovely daughter now, and you'll get a better version of me this time. I promise to be the best friend you've ever had. Good. So we agree? You stay with your parents for the weekend and no longer. And from now on, this is our room again. The three of us will be a family. Before I could finish, she kissed me hard. I had no complaints. After this surprising turn, we lived like a typical small family. Marriage was never mentioned, and neither were more kids. Mel called Rachel Mom naturally. We decided not to tell her the truth until she was 18, maybe even later. We were happy this way. "Alex, you know I love Mel completely, right?" This question came out of nowhere. We were sitting on the couch, Mel was asleep, everything was good. Why did she bring this up now? Sure. I looked at her, waiting. There was more she wanted to say. "I love her like my own child." "I know, I'm happy you do." "Yeah, but one day I want to have your child too. I was so jealous of Annie." I thought about it for a while. "Why don't you—" She was home anyway to take care of Mel. We shared money and lived on my income. "What?" She got emotional, stood up, and looked at me with tears in her eyes. She almost seemed scared. Why shouldn't we have another child if she wanted to? I was confused by her strong reaction. We already lived like a family. "What's the problem, Rachel?" "You'd trust me enough to have a child with me?" Good question. Did I? Yes, I trusted her again. She had proven herself. Yeah, I do. "Oh, Alex." And then she hugged me tight and started to cry. I still didn't understand her reaction, but it felt good. "Thank you, Alex." "Rachel, calm down. I'm glad you asked first and didn't try to trick me." No, she cut me off. "I'd never do that." "I know." And I did. "Let's go for it if you want to. How many do you want?" "Let's start with one. I need to stop taking the pill, but we can try right away." And that's what we did. We finished our dinner. Today, I cooked a special meal. Candles, white tablecloth, 3 courses. Rachel was surprised, but got a bit nervous. I don't usually do this, and she was starting to get suspicious. I needed to act soon, so I went around the table and got down on one knee. Her jaw dropped. I took out a small box. "Rachel." "Yes." "Would you—" Yes, Alex, absolutely, I will." "Mary!" She hugged and kissed me so hard I fell backward, her pregnant belly bumping into me. "Thank you, Rachel." "Are you kidding? Thank you. I will keep thanking you every day. Oh, and you still have that contract." "I do, but I think I won't need it." "You won't." "And Rachel, one more thing. It's about Mel. She needs a mother." "But she already has one." "Yes, but not legally." Rachel just looked at me and tears filled her eyes. "Alex, you're going to get lucky tonight," she managed to say between sobs. "And for the rest of your life." And I did. Now we're back to the present. I'm lying by the pool in our backyard. My beautiful wife keeps glancing at me while I play with our son. Our wedding was small, just in time for her dad to see before he lost his fight with cancer. Before the wedding, I watched for any signs of trouble returning. Rachel knew what I was thinking and just smiled. "It won't happen again, Alex. Not this time. I've learned my lesson." She was right. I just hope marriage is easier for others. I knew it would be hard, but our journey seems a bit much. Dear readers, if you've read up to here, the story ends now. What follows is an alternate ending for readers who prefer a quick finish. It's not connected to the story, it's just for fun. It's over, Rachel. I loved you, but you broke my heart. No! She cried. Alex, please give me another chance. I see now how dumb I've been. It won't happen again. I love only you, Alex. It's too late, Rachel. By the way, your lover Danny tried to confront me. He didn't know about my past in the Navy. He may have a big ego, but he lacked fighting skills. Is he badly hurt? Not too much, but he won't walk or cause trouble for a while. He didn't understand it was a secret mission. I'm so sorry, Alex. Oh, and don't worry about the 15 million. It's safe in my offshore account. Alex, I know it looked bad, especially when I tried to trick you, but it was never about the money. All I wanted was you. But you can't have him anymore, a female voice behind her said. Rachel spun around in shock. And who the heck are you? I'm Sasha, Alex's new fiancé. Sasha looked younger than Rachel, almost like a supermodel, with an eye-catching figure. And since I have my own private investigator firm, we've got all the proof we need. Your embarrassing video will be everywhere online if you're not careful. You're finished, Rachel. Alex and I are meant to be together. No! Rachel's scream was as loud as a jet engine. Yes, you had a good man and you tossed him away. Now he's mine and I'm already expecting twins. Goodbye, Rachel. I really loved you, but we're done for good. Rachel realized at that moment how foolish she had been to mistreat Alex. But now it was too late. Yeah, actions have consequences.
What's up, story lovers? This is the Story Guy, and if you're hungry for crazy tales and mind-blowing narratives, you've come to the right place. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our weekly dose of crazy cheating stories, fun fiction and gut-ripping comedy from around the world. But that's not all. We also create our own original stories, and trust me, you won't find these anywhere else. Want even more spine-tingling reads? Head down to the description and grab our exclusive story collections. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.